Hey there folks, Luke here with the Outdoor Gear Review. Thanks for tuning in for this episode where I review another Snugpak product. Now, I've been on a roll with the Snugpak products and I have more to show off, and that's just because, well, they've been turning out some cool products lately. I know you guys really like them, so yeah, it's time to show off some more Snugpak gear. Now, this is the Snugpak Hammock Quilt. A very inexpensive quilt, good for the third season in most areas. That's just really nice. It has some really good features, which you would find in typically very expensive quilts. Yeah, as you can see here, that's in its compressed form. I could probably get this a little bit smaller, but not a whole lot. So you're looking at the size of a volleyball, something like that. Is it lightweight? No, not really, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Let me go ahead and take this out, throw it in my hammock, and show it off. As you can see here, with the stuff sack, you have compression straps and all that good stuff. Very good quality. Draw pull here at the top. Now the material for this will look very, very similar. Actually, this product itself will look very similar to the Jungle Blanket, which I really like. You guys can find my review, on my channel. I'll tell you what, folks, before I put that in the hammock, I will go ahead and put this on the ground so you guys can really see it, and we can go over the features real quick. Check that out. Definitely unusual. Definitely different. Snugpak. So as you can see here, this is definitely a unique design. I haven't seen anything else like it out on the market. You have these wings, which we will talk about in just a minute. I will go ahead and flip this over. So folks, we're looking at the back side. This is the most important feature right here. This is the foot box. Now, of course, you would have this over the top of you. You wouldn't be laying on it, unless it's super hot or something like that. But this has a foot box to keep your feet nice and warm. That is a unique feature for a quilt at this price range. Typically, this is something that you would see in a higher end quilt. Now, with these wings, these are meant to go under your back to give you some additional warmth while you're sleeping. Now again, folks, I do want to point out that this is reversed. These wings should be under your back. It should be flipped over. But this way you guys can see exactly what this does. When it comes to the dimensions for this, you are looking at 71 inches long, and it is 43 inches wide. When it comes to weight, you're looking at 2 pounds, 6 ounces. So it's not light by any means. This is available, as far as I understand, in only this color, which is an olive green color. The fill that keeps you warm inside of this quilt is the Snugpak Travelsoft insulation, which is a polyester fiber. The outside material is a MicroDiamond fiber with a Paratex Antibacterial treatment, which means that this won't begin to stink as you're sleeping in it and sweating in it and so on. It fights that bacteria from growing on there. Now folks, you may be wondering what makes a quilt so special when you're in a hammock. Now, if you're familiar with using hammocks, getting inside of a sleeping bag while inside of your hammock is a real chore. There's nothing easy at all about doing that. And that is where the quilt really begins to shine, because there's no back to it. You can slide right in underneath it. It has the foot box, so you can stick your feet in that. They're enclosed inside of that foot box. They stay nice and warm. I will go ahead and hop inside of this now so you guys can see what it looks like with me in it. Okay. Now, if this was a sleeping bag, this would be a pain in the butt to lay on top of it, put your feet in, try to hop in there, scooch around, try to zip it up. So this makes everything nice and easy. You can just hop in underneath it. You can pull it down over your feet. They're enclosed, nice and comfortable. You can kick back. You can pull this up to your head. Then you can take those wings and put those underneath your body. Let's see here. Ooh, yeah. Do that on the other side. And just like that, you are going to be nice and warm. Whew. Now, sadly, folks, it is already a warm day. I don't want to be covered up in a quilt. When it comes to cost, you are looking at $50. That is $50 on the Snugpak website. It is $50 on Amazon. Is it worth $50? In my opinion, yes it is. I am a big fan of the Jungle Blanket, and I'm also a big fan of this hammock quilt. This is a great product. It's just as good as the Jungle Blanket, maybe even more so. The truth is that you do not have to use this in a hammock. You can use this inside of your tent, and it really works well in that regards. It really works well inside of a hammock too. Now folks, you may be wondering, what is the temperature rating for this quilt? And that is information that Snugpak does not offer, because they believe that your mileage will vary. Depends on the clothing that you're wearing. It depends on the underquilt if you're using an underquilt. It also depends on the sleeping pad if you're using one, so on and so forth. They do not provide that information. I have been testing this product out for many months. The coldest that I've used it to is 35 degrees. That was with a nice pad on the inside, no underquilt. I had my pants on, my thermals, a fleece jacket, and I was comfortable. I do have to say that I sleep hot though. Some people don't. They may not be warm at that level with this right here. I was. Would I want to push that any further, any lower? No, I would not. Any lower, and I would want an underquilt. So right at 35, 40 degrees in a hammock is about as far as I would recommend pushing this product. You would definitely want to keep your clothes on, have some thermals, maybe a fleece jacket, something like that. So as I mentioned before, this is a 3-season product, depending on where you live. At the beginning of the 3rd season here in the mountains of North Carolina, it works just fine. But towards the end, I would definitely need to consider really switching this out for something thicker. Because, yeah, I think about 27 degrees with a really good underquilt is probably about as low as I would want to go with this right here. Overall, I'm very impressed with it. I'm impressed with the quality. I'm impressed with the size. I've used this. My buddy, he has used it. My buddy is 6'1". He's about 275. Also, he wears a size 13 shoe. And he was able to use this, no issues. Thought it was great. His feet fit inside of this perfectly. For myself, again, no real complaints at all. I think the price is amazing for what you are getting. If you're familiar with overquilts, gosh, they can be so expensive. Does this perform as well as a down quilt? No, it does not. But down quilts are, whoa, very, very expensive. So, you know, for a synthetic fill quilt, gosh, the value is off the charts here. It really is. My recommendation for you all, if you are considering to purchase this for your hammock needs, when you go out on your trip, I would tiptoe into using this full time. You really need to test this out and see how well it performs for you. Everybody sleeps differently. Like I said, I sleep very, very hot. So yeah, I like to stick a leg out. That's just how I am. Some people don't sleep that warm, and I understand it. So if you decide to purchase this, take it out, take a backup. That way you can stay nice and warm. Don't just head out into the middle of nowhere thinking that you're gonna be toasty warm in this, because, well, you might not be. So make sure to test it out, tiptoe into it, see what works for you. That's my best recommendation. As mentioned, using this inside of a tent, it's awesome. I am a huge fan of quilts. This is very, very nice. The wings, you know, at first I thought the wings were a little bit gimmicky, but let's see, where are they? They're not. It really does add a little bit of warmth underneath you on your back. It also kind of helps keep it all into place. The foot box definitely keeps this quilt where it needs to be while you're sleeping in it. You can toss and turn. It really doesn't get balled up all that much. So to wrap up this review, let's answer a couple of questions here. Is this the best quilt on the market today? No. For the money though, it is an incredible value, and you would be hard pressed to find something better than this. Remember the temperature rating that I talked about? Yeah, 37, 40 degrees is starting to push this. So yeah, it's definitely not a 4-season quilt by any means, but with a really good underquilt, you could definitely push this down into the 20s. I'm very confident about that. Now, I will continue to use this and to test it out so I can give you guys an update on how well it performs when it gets colder. But yeah, 37 degrees, 35 degrees, just fine for me. That's me. For someone who likes to hammock on a budget, this is a great option to consider. The quality is great, the stitching is fantastic. It's held up to my abuse and my buddy's abuse. This thing has seen roughly, I don't know, 20 nights out. I've went out about 7 times. My buddy, he's had it for a couple of months. And yeah, nothing but good things to say here. all in all, like I said, it's a really nice product, and you don't have to use it in a hammock. You guys know that I like hammocks. I don't love hammocks by any means, but yeah, you can take this inside of your tent and it rocks. It definitely does, especially for spring, summer, early fall. It's a very versatile piece of kit. Not the lightest by any means. It does take up some space, but it's only $50. If you guys have any questions for me, please let me know. I'll do my best to address them. Until next time, strength and honor, be well.